Thank you, Fiona. My name is John Muirhead. I'm Brand Communications Manager with Aston Martin. I joined the company in 1994, which seems an awful long time ago now, but actually, time has just gone very quickly, and it's been an absolute whirlwind, really, for myself, having been there for 20 years now. But I came in really at the beginning of the Ford ownership era of Aston Martin. And the DB7 was really, by comparison to the previous cars that were made at Newport Pagnell, very much coach-built, hand-built, one-off cars. The DB7 was much more of a sort of volume model and enabled the brand to have a much wider audience and therefore start to put the company back on its feet, because at about that time the company was at a very low ebb and was making fewer than 5 cars a week, and essentially couldn't survive. So there needed to be some plan in order to bring us back to where we are today. And the DB7 was the first step in that direction, although it shared many components with other vehicles within the Ford group, but it gave us the impetus and gave us the income, if you like, to be able to develop the next generation of cars. The first of which was the first Vanquish, which was a bonded aluminium structure, an all aluminium bodied car made at Newport Pagnell, and that, if you like, led into the first of the new models that we currently build today, if you like, the DB9, the V8 Vantage, and they were built at a custom built factory at Gaydon in Warwickshire. It was the first purpose-built facility we'd ever had in our 101-year history, and has allowed us to extend our model range from DB9 through the Vantage range, Rapide S, and to the current Vanquish model that we enjoy today and that you've had hopefully the pleasure of driving.
So the changes have been quite significant then in 20 years. I mean, what are the most significant points of the Aston Martin history, do you think?
Going back 101 years, well, we started in a small garage in Chelsea. The company was founded by 2 enthusiastic engineers, Lionel Martin and Robert Bamford. And they started by servicing the few cars that were around at that time, but also tuning them to make them go a little bit quicker. And they were very keen on performance and improving performance. And the main arena for this were hill climbs. There weren't that many circuits in the UK at that time, so hill climbs were the place where you could really try out a car and get a little bit of speed up. So they would hill climb these cars, and Lionel Martin was particularly successful at Aston Clinton in Buckinghamshire, where there is a hill called Aston Hill. And the cars were nicknamed the Aston Martins, that nickname stuck through the early years, if you like, the 1920s. Obviously, the founding of the company in 1913 was a pretty difficult time, because, of course, the First World War started a year later, and really the company didn't resume business until around about 1918, 1919, with the first car starting to be built around that time. The company was very successful during the 1930s, especially in motorsport. I mean, motorsport is very much at the heart of the brand. That's where it all began. It's an arena, international motorsport anyway, is an arena that we currently take part in today very successfully. But alongside that, because motorsport improves the brand and racing improves the breed, we still obviously produce cars in a very similar way, low volume, beautifully made, hand built, as we do today. And I suppose the changes I've seen since 1994 have been the move from being a very definite cottage industry to being a global player of luxury sports cars, which is what we are today. Okay, well, Rapide S. What can I say? It's the most beautiful 4-door sports car in the world, bar none. It has been significantly improved for 15 model year with the adaptation of a new ZF automatic transmission, which we call Touchtronic 3. It's a world first for a transmission, or for this particular transmission, to be mounted as a transaxle, i.e. At the rear of the car. The car is still based on the same bonded aluminium structure that all of our present-day Aston Martins are based upon. It's got an all aluminium body, beautifully leather trimmed interior, and is a true four-door sports car. Vanquish is our top-of-the-range model. It's available as a coupe and as a convertible, or a volante as we call it, at Aston Martin. It's based on the bonded aluminium chassis structure that all of our present models are based upon, but in this instance with an all-carbon fibre body. We use carbon fibre for its lightweight and for its strength, and we have a very special process that we use that enables us to get a flawless paint finish to the car, which normally you would only expect on a metal-bodied car such as steel or aluminium. The car is a V12 engined sports car with a new ZF 8-speed transmission, which is mounted as a transaxle at the rear of the car, and by mounting the engine at the front and the transmission at the rear, we're able to achieve a 50-50 weight distribution, which of course is optimum for a sports car that's a serious sports car anyway. It's very much a luxury sports car. The interior is beautifully appointed. Everything that you see in the car, if it's leather or if it's wood, then it really is leather or wood or metal. We try to be as faithful to our principles in terms of using natural materials wherever possible. We don't try and, create plastic as leather or vice versa. The car is very much a luxurious model, but a very potent model as well.
So just in terms of the top of the range, I mean, it is the ultimate in luxury. Perhaps you can tell us. I mean, you've got the paint finishes, you've got everything, and then obviously the price it justifies the work that it goes into it. So just a little bit about that, being the ultimate as you see it.
I think many sports cars are designed as track day cars. They're cars that don't really have the same level of heritage, of quality, of luxurious appointment that an Aston Martin has. And I think that's really what sets us apart. There are many limousines, if you like, that are very comfortable and very luxurious, with lots of space and lots of technical toys and gadgets to play with. And the Aston Martin takes a little bit of that luxury, if you like, luxury and high levels of appointment, and packages it into a very high performance sports car, which is clothed in a beautiful body, probably the most beautiful body of any sports car. You won't see any sort of wings or vents or scoops. The car is a pure design, and it's very much developed from our past. I mean, we look at the cars that we've built in the past. We respect, if you like, those cars and those models. We try and use the same level of proportion and scale, and we take styling cues from certain parts of the car, like the grille and the side strake, and the rear haunches of the car, of even the cars today are very reminiscent of those cars we built back in the 50s and 60s. The cars are still built primarily in aluminium, which they were back then, but of course now they employ much more modern processes, much more modern facilities in terms of manufacturing and production, and hopefully appeal to all social strata. It's the ultimate poster car, if you like, for young boys and girls, as it was back in the 1950s and 60s.
I mean, you're obviously very passionate about it, John. You've been with the company for 20 years. What to you is, I mean, people would say you've got absolutely the ultimate dream job. What is it about, what's kept you there for so long, and how do you embody, the spirit of Aston Martin for you? What does it mean to you?
I think it's very similar to to the many hundreds of thousands of people who have passed through the company over the years. It's more than a brand, it's a way of life. Our customers and our clients tell us that owning an Aston Martin and being part of Aston Martin is like being part of a family. And you almost feel that when you work for the company as well, that you have this feeling of being part of a very small group of dedicated people. And that small group, I suppose, is what contributes to the soul of the brand. Those many people who are craftsmen, who are engineers and designers and technicians, and who have contributed to making Aston Martin what it is today. It's a relatively small group of people who I think consider themselves a family, and I do feel very very much part of that family. Even though I've been around for 20 years now, it's a very enjoyable place to work. The product is wonderful. I mean, I can never really get enough of coming into work and actually driving the product and actually talking about the product. I mean, it's just has been my whole life for the last 20 years. So that's what holds me here for sure. And we'll see for how much longer. I don't know, but I don't see any reason to move to any other brand, because no other brand really gives me the same thrill and the same pleasure. I suppose, like most people of my age, we first encountered Aston Martin through a certain Mr. Bond, who drove an EB5 in Goldfinger 50 years ago this year. I'm not telling you what my age is, but that'll give you a sort of an indication. And of course, the racing success that Aston Martin had during those years, especially at races like the Le Mans 24-hour race, where we managed to win the race outright. We had great drivers and great designers, people like Stirling Moss, people like Roy Salvadori, Carroll Shelby. These were all racing heroes who drove Aston Martins and put the company very much on the map, even though we're a very small company, having only made some 70,000 cars in our 101-year history. But it is, I think, a testament to the brand that almost 90% are still accounted for. We still know that there are that many cars still in garages, still being restored, still being enjoyed by their owners, and I think that says something about the brand and the love with which people hold of their cars, and the fact that they will pass them on from generation to generation and never let them die. There'll always be a way of restoring them or bringing them back to life, even today. And I think the spirit really of what went into those cars, the workmanship and the craftsmanship, it's very much a 21st century workmanship and craftsmanship now, where our processes and our manufacturing methods, etc., are state of the art, but we still hand assemble the cars, we still hand trim all the cars. Those are the, if you like, the craftsmanship elements that we want to retain and we want to keep in the car, because we think it's important. People, customers like to be able to specify a whole range of colours and trims for their cars, and they want to know that that human beings have made it, that they've not been made by robots or by other machines.